to the microphone. I'm waiting to go live on YouTube. Okay, we're live. Holy crap, I am dark. I'm real dark. Hold on, let me adjust all this shit.
Wait, so is there a way for me to see you on YouTube or Facebook?
If you go on YouTube Live, you can see me. It probably won't be as accurate as this phone call, but yeah, I don't know if you can still talk on the phone and see me on YouTube, unless you're like in your office or something. But
yeah, no, I'm outside.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that would work, but oh, excuse me, everyone listening to the podcast. I just burped in the microphone. This is an interesting start. Anyways, everything's back to normal. All right. Welcome to the virus edition of the Skulls and Knives podcast.
I knew that's where this was going.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like a big part of my life right now. I mean, so I just mentioned the Brenton. He asked me how I was doing, and I said, okay. And I said that saying anything other than okay would be a lie. And he asked me, like, why? So here's the why. I just got told, and Kate Brown, the governor, just issued a thing saying that the all the bars and restaurants are closed now, including my place of work. And so, yeah, we have a meeting tomorrow to discuss financial situations and stuff like that. But just trying to process that a little bit. On top of that, the unemployment website was down earlier because of the influx of people going into it. And so that was stressful. And then, so I'm still working through that. And then I had to go to the store today and get more food and such, which was a nightmare. It's like a fucking war zone. Make sure I had diapers ready for at least the next couple weeks. Yeah, we had a flat tire and I had to go. Oh, hold on. I locked Hannah out. My bad.
You're good. I am here to keep you all entertained.
I'm back already, so
don't worry. God damn
it. It's cool. He's not that entertaining.
I was about to start singing or something.
But yeah, so that happened. Yeah, we had a flat tire that Hannah had to change, and so I had to drive and pick up Everly on a donut, like 60 miles round trip. Day. Yeah, it's been a really interesting day.
I'm sorry, guys. That sucks.
It's okay. It's just like one day at a time, So, luckily we have enough food for a while, so we'll be good on that. Yeah, my mom's shipping me toilet paper.
Yeah, I had my parents give me a couple rolls.
Yeah, so it's just been. What's that? Oh yeah, and Hannah's dad Jason gave us a pack of toilet paper, and so just been doing that. I spent all day cleaning the house, and I worked out for like 3 hours, and then started packing up bags because I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I need to do something with my life. So like, even though I don't like really need to right now, I have like a couple bags packed and ready to go if I have to go. So
yeah, that's smart, dude.
Yeah, and so it was mainly just a stress reliever, just to be like, okay, I have this stuff ready to go if I need to. We have gas in the car. Yeah, we have a donut. I have to go figure that out tomorrow. But yeah, everything's just.
I think we have a little bit of time before any decisions like that are made. But
yeah, have you guys been dealing with anything over there?
Oh yeah. Also, all the schools have shut down.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of places of work that are like limiting time and going to like work from home only.
Mm-hmm.
My dad told me today that they were on a conference call, all the guys from our Home Depot, like, branch people, even, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of contracts that are, like, in discussion, but they're all discussing, like, the moves that we make going forward because of liability concerns.
Uh-huh.
Because we're in people's houses, like, all the time. We're in a new house every day, and it could be up to 5 a day, you know?
Yeah.
So, there was, like, a concern that they were going to shut us down. It didn't sound like that's where it was going today. It sounded like they were just addressing concerns and telling us how to be careful about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, every time we make a phone call in the morning, we're supposed to ask, like, is anybody feeling ill? Is anybody coughing? You know? But there's not been any, like, significant jumps yet. I'm really sorry to hear about yours.
It's all right. Like I said, we'll be okay. It's just stressful.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, Hannah's starting Starbucks next week, and apparently, if you're doing to-go stuff like a drive-through, you're fine. So, what did you say though, Brenton?
What?
That very last thing before I interrupted you.
Oh, I don't even know. I said, like, I was sorry to hear about it, like your thing.
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
But
just breathe. Just remembering to breathe, I guess, you know.
How do you feel about this? Do you, like, I've been asking every customer that I've had, you know, like, how do you feel about this? And it's literally been 50-50. Like, I have half of my people that are scared to death, and then half of my people that are like, this is all blown out of proportion. I can't believe people are freaking out. You know? So, like, what do you think? I'm just curious.
I am personally on the blown out of proportion side. Now, so I have friends who have health issues here. And, like, I obviously don't want them sick, and I don't want people I know to be sick with this virus. And I also don't want people, you know, like my friend who have underlying health issues that would be
problematic situation.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily worth staying open and such to. I mean, I don't know. I'm in a weird spot. My mind is like slightly changed today because of all this and because of talking to some people. But I feel like there are measures that we could take without going this far. And I wouldn't even be opposed to these measures if there were laws and subsidies in place to help people like in my situation where
but there's not.
Yeah, but there's not. And so, like, you know, if they're, I mean, it's just this whole thing is just proving the point to me, at least, that we need something like UBI and universal health care and state subsidized childcare and all these things that are, you know, looked down upon as
really attainable.
Yeah, they're all looked down upon, but like super attainable. And, you know, every other country and, you know, civilized country in the world has this kind of shit. And it's like, if we had this kind of stuff, we wouldn't have the problem of like, oh my gosh, you know, where are we going to get, you know, testing and who's going to be able to live and who's going to die and all this other stuff. It's like, we could have had this covered already. we could have had the problem of people getting laid off for extended periods of time, like I am. I mean, not laid off, but you know what I mean, like out of work.
Yeah,
Like you could have,
who knows how long.
yeah, you could have mandatory paid sick time off, like in every other country. Like in most like the top 30 countries, it's 52 weeks or something like that, or 52 days, I think. 52 days. But that 52 days would be enough to cover, you know, a 4-week, you know, a month or, you know, a month and a half of shutting everything down. And then everyone would have their paid sick time. And people who say that's too expensive, it's like, well, it'll be worked into your insurance as a company already. And if that was already a thing, it wouldn't have been a problem. And so, I don't know. Like I said, I'm on the side of, I think that this might be a little bit blown out of proportion, but even so, it's worse because we don't have these options. Yeah, it's just
fucked.
Yeah, and like it's so, like earlier this week, I was so fucking mad when I found out that the Fed put $1.5 trillion into the stock market to try and save it. $1.5 trillion could wipe out all student debt. It could, you could take that money and fund universal health care for almost 5 years. Like, and the Fed and, you know, the Republicans and whatnot and everyone else, and, you know, centrist Democrats, they all say it's too expensive and we can't do it, yet we can just randomly on a dime without, you know, any question to the masses, throw our money at the stock market
to save it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. This is a perfect example of a government that's only looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, I'm kind of in the same, like, I don't know yet boat that you are, because, like, I think this toilet paper shit is insane.
No, yeah, I think totally. I agree.
Like, you know, the panic spending is nuts.
Yeah.
Because here's the reality, guys. We don't fucking know. You know, like, I think it's too early to say anything yet. And, like, so that's why I'm in this spot of, like, look, let's all be mindful. Let's be aware. But, like, I think it's kind of irresponsible to sit here and say, like, this isn't a big deal. You know, like, it could be a big deal.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We don't know yet. Like, it's just starting. But at the same time, I feel you. Like, and if anything, this has kind of shown me, like, I was sort of for that Democratic bill that was trying to be passed, you know, that was going to basically, like, cover all of our asses, and it was going to pay for, like, any time off.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Reds just shut it down. And I was like, you know, that was one of the first times I can remember, like, fully supporting something on the Democratic side.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of think this is the smart move here. Like, let's prevent as much death as we can. And yeah, it might hurt a little, but, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that might be the right move, but maybe not. You know, somebody might tell me otherwise. I don't know. But it just sort of felt irresponsibly handled.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This whole thing is a shit show.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you about the healthcare thing. That's why, you know, I got that book of Walden and Civil Disobedience back from my dad last night, and I was flipping through it, you know, and it's just weird listening to a guy that was from the 1850s talking about how he feels like he's a slave to the society that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
And And I'm just like, dude, I'm right there with you. Like, this is madness. This isn't freedom. Like,
Yeah.
So, I mean, people ask me, like, why are you such an anarchist lately? Dude, it's corrupt. Or, like, red and blue, it's corrupt.
Oh,
so
yeah, it's all fucked.
It's all fucked. Like, why are we just, like, cool with this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, man. I also, I watched the debate today while I was working out.
I didn't watch it.
It's okay. I mean, what's nice is, and I think they should do this with all future debates, is that there isn't an audience.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it for that reason.
Oh my God, it's so much more fast paced. They get so many more questions in. They're actually able to fucking talk without it. People going, oh yeah, clap, 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 clap. And then, they don't have to turn around and go like, hey, let's stop clapping. It's like, no, I was watching, I was like, why don't we do this all the time? So much more informative, and the candidates have so much more free time to like really get into it on each other. It's like, who gives a shit about the studio audience? I don't give a fuck. Like, take that shit out from now on.
Cheer in your living room.
What's that?
Cheer in your living rooms, goddammit. Like,
yeah, right? And it's like, just, yeah, I was like, so that was good, and it was more informative and stuff. And one of the funniest parts, I will say, Biden said something about Bernie having 9 super PACs, and Bernie just like looked at him all weird and was like, what super PACs? And he goes, "You're 9 super PACs." And he goes, "Okay, name them." And then just silence for a couple seconds, and then Biden just redirects and goes, "The point is," and then goes on something else.
What does he mean, super PACs?
So PACs and super PACs are basically like millionaires and companies put together money into kind of like a shell organization kind of thing that looks out for their interest and then votes or donates to different campaigns and stuff like that. And Bernie's not accepting any money from them. And so Biden is. And so, anyways, it was hilarious because he's saying that Bernie has 9. And then Bernie like looks at them all weird and is like, okay, name them. And Biden can't name him. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And then just like redirects. I was laughing so hard.
That's funny.
And then something else that bothered me was that Biden totally twist what Bernie was saying about, he recently mentioned something about, I think, the school system in Cuba and how well it's run, because it is run well. And Biden twisted that into saying that he's, loves authoritarian dictators and shit like that. There's the media bullshit they were spinning when Bernie said it. And then it was funny because Bernie turned around and quoted Obama praising Cuba for exactly what he praised him for.
That's funny.
It was like, damn, son. And Bernie was clear several times. He's like, I don't support authoritarian dictators. I'm just saying that they did this one thing right, and we could learn from what some of these countries do when they do something right. It's just like, he's like, I'm not. And he mentioned the military-industrial complex in that same thing, about what we're doing and stuff. He's like, and about how we're, we look down on these communist dictators, but then we turn around and we love the far right extremist versions of them in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia. And so you're like how can you say I'm like loving dictators and then like America's anti-dictator, and then we're fucking hanging out with Saudi Arabia all the fucking time while they're starting wars in Yemen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just bullshit. So that was nice. I feel like Bernie could have been more hardcore, a little more rough with Biden, but yeah.
You feel like he held back a little bit? Yeah,
because they're friends, and so I get it. You don't want to be. I get that it's hard because you don't want to be rough with your friend, but I mean, you're talking about you're talking about the presidential election, man. You're talking about some dude that wants to bring us back to exactly the shit hole we were in right before Trump got elected.
Yeah. I know. Well, honestly, I watched a video of Biden, and he was like walking through some, I don't even know where, but some public area, and there's a huge crowd following him.
Oh, yeah.
And this like construction worker walks up to him, and he's like, "You want to take away our guns?" He goes, "You want to take away our guns? You said in an interview this, and the guy, and then Biden just goes, "You're full of shit," and like to his face, and the guy just like backs away, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that to me. Like, you're a politician, you know?"
Yeah, and then they went at it for a little bit.
Yeah, but I was just like, man, like that's the kind of guy. I mean, I know Trump's crazy. Like that's just its own show. We're all watching, but you know, like I mean, like that's the kind of guy you're gonna elect.
Yeah, well, and then the other thing is too is like you're looking at a guy who's gonna sit there and tell it was a union worker that he's full of shit, and then like berate him, and you know when he's talking about something that you did say, like you did say that, versus the guy who goes and does, 2-hour town halls with union workers and lets them say whatever they want and treats them respectfully and like discusses the issues and discusses his ideas and discusses where he's at on things and actually listens to people. It's like, you really want the dude who's like, the dude is going to be a fucking asshole to everyone versus the guy who's like trying to work with everybody and get some shit done? Like, I don't know. On top of that, like Biden actually didn't do too bad in these debates as far as like, I mean, there was a couple things that he just kept berating people on or expanding on that didn't make any sense. But like he didn't have very many verbal fuck ups, which I was surprised by.
Yeah, he normally does.
Yeah, given that, that he normally does. And I thought to myself for a second, I wonder if they put him on speed for this thing. Or like maybe because he's in a studio, he's not nervous, you know?
He just took the cocaine.
Yeah. Something to keep his brain straight. Like, so, yeah, I don't know. I definitely know who I'm voting for in the primary, though.
Oh, I know who you're voting for.
Oh, yeah. Bernie.
Oh, Bernie.
Oh, Bernie. And then, I mean, I was disappointed because Bernie said, I mean, I get it, right? I get it that we need Trump out of here. But Bernie said that, if Biden got the nomination, that he'd support him 100%. And like, that's good for the party.
Right.
But is that good for the message?
For the country?
For the country? No. Like, in all reality, I mean, I don't know. Again, that's another one I'm on the fence about and I feel weird about. And I keep telling everybody, like, I'm not saying that I'm going to, if Biden, let's say Biden gets the nomination, right? I'm not saying that I'm not going to vote for him. I'm just saying that if Biden gets nominated, I'm not chilling with this party anymore. I'm going to switch back to independent, and I am going to
vote for who I think is best.
Yeah, vote for who I think is best, which, just so listeners know, will not be Trump, regardless.
Yeah.
But
might be a throwaway vote.
It might be a throwaway vote, but it's not going to be Trump. And the argument that a vote for the Green Party candidate or the Communist candidate or whatever is a vote for. It's usually the Communist Party backs the Green Party, or the Socialist candidate or whatever, is a throwaway vote. I get and I understand that I'm basically, throwing away my vote in the general, which is why I really don't want to do it. But my morals keep telling me, like, don't fucking vote for that sleazeball Biden.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be doing the same thing I did with Hillary Trump, which is just like looking at that ballot, like, fuck, I gotta write Hillary in. I gotta check mark Hillary.
None of us want to repeat that year.
Yeah, no. And it's like, it's just, Biden is just, male dementia version of Hillary.
Yep. He's like, I'm gonna pick a woman vice president.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bud.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to please there?
Yeah, right. Well, and I guarantee you, I bet you, I bet money that it's Elizabeth Warren, and Warren's all about Biden, or all about Bernie, and that's why she hasn't endorsed him yet. Because she's probably like, I'll be your VP, Biden, but like, I can't come out for you until this is all over, because I can't go against Bernie. And like, I don't know, Elizabeth Warren to me is just, Bernie light. So I don't think that would be a bad pick. I think it would be a good pick for VP. It might encourage me more to vote for him, but I don't know. I still think the ticket that I like the best would be a Bernie and Tulsi Gabbard as VP. That'd be my top pick if I had to pick my go-to.
Yeah.
For that running.
Yeah, I definitely like, I'm at the spot where I'm like, I've always been one of those people that said you need to exercise your right to vote, because people have died for that right.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever looked at the statistics of how many people actually vote in this country now?
It's like 50% or lower.
Yeah. Because, like, most of us have this feeling that it's rigged.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is that? And then, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if there's a way to change that anymore. But
I know I always have an answer for everything, but I think I have a way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Socialist communism. Just kidding.
Well, so part of that would be, at least in my idea. So initially my idea was like the unions running everything, the typical like Marxist thinking. And then I was thinking about it before I talked to Eric on the last podcast. And then Eric brought up a good point of, does what labor sector you in necessarily represent who you are as a person? And as I thought about that, and I thought about it more, I actually like wrote out and thought of a plan that was actually, I think, a little bit better, which breaks away from a three-party republic system like we have now to a three-branch, to a single branch, or a two-branch system, excuse me, with the general public at the top and integrated throughout that branch. And essentially how that works is, we all have cell phones. We all have smartphones that are at our ever beckoning, like even poor people. And you have a system where either you can vote through an app on your smartphone or at your local library or whatever. And every, week or a month, the people working in the government, which again, this is a whole thing I'm going to go over with my dad in our 2-month awaited podcast of socialism versus libertarianism. I'm going to go over this more externally, but essentially the people get the vote in who they want to write the laws. And then the laws are written and sent back to the people to be voted upon. And so the people would have the ultimate control in every single state of it as a general public without an electoral college. And so
to create an app that was so hack proof?
Yeah, you would have, you'd have an entire branch and team like constantly managing security on that.
Yeah.
Like it would definitely be a thing that's more down the road, I think. And this whole plan is down the road. I don't think you can start socialism tomorrow, but this is my idea of what I think could be an ideal system
Right.
and what could work, 10, 15 years from now or more. Slowly moving towards something like that, because I feel like the biggest problem in government is the politicians.
It's a hunger for power.
Yeah, and so if you
money and control,
if you will, if you eliminate that hunger for power and control through several measures, again, I'll explain it all in a later podcast, but if you eliminate those things through financial means, etc., and have the United States citizens be the end all be all last stop on every bill, then I mean you don't need a Congress, you don't need a Senate, you don't need those things. You can switch the judiciary over to a rotational judiciary rather than a hierarchy, popularity contest on your record, where the judges are free to judge accordingly and work separate entirely from the government as a whole, but still keep it in check. And then also the American people would have say in everything. Who's the leader of this whole thing, who's his cabinet members, who are the people in charge of different national organizations, for the guy who's in charge of the labor secretary, the transportation secretary, all of that would be voted in.
Right.
And so you'd force the government to work for you.
Yeah,
force
I know. I go through this shit a lot in my head.
Yeah, like I said, that notebook's getting real full.
Yeah, I'm sure, dude. Yeah, I can't say too much without getting in trouble on a podcast, but I'm about done with all of it. And
yeah,
I could, if they make any big moves, I don't know, like, I could see some shit going down.
Like I said last time we were on, shit's getting real.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that
if you're not paying attention, pay attention.
Yeah, on the real. Especially this upcoming election. Especially with all this shit going on.
Yeah. We got pedophiles running everything.
Right. Eat the baby killers. I know every anarchist and socialist likes to throw around the term "eat the rich," but let's eat the baby rapers first, and then we can eat the rich. Okay?
Yep, I'm down for it.
Well, they're all rich, so we'll start with the rich baby.
Can we just start on the island and kill everyone there?
I don't think anyone's on the island anymore.
Oh, good.
Oh, but I'm sure there's another island. I'm sure there's more.
There's probably more. I'm ready to get a fucking frigate ship and just arm people. Dude, we're going in, we're saving kids. Just shut the fuck up and shoot.
I like it. Yeah, we were at Cabela's yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And just walking around looking at stuff. And we walked by the gun section, and you could have thought they were giving away those things for free on sale. Like there was so many people around just buying ammo and buying guns and stuff. You're like, holy crap, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, I like let's not mince what I just said. I want one too.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not working right now, so I don't even have a chance to buy one, but
Right.
I eventually do.
Hey, you got the car ready? You know, things get bad enough, you just get your ass here.
Yeah, I gotta fix that tire first.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it Arizona on a donut.
On a donut. Sounds like something Clark Griswold would try.
Right? But we'll see. Oh, my back. A 3-hour workout really killed me today, man.
Are you still doing jiu-jitsu?
No, I've never done jiu-jitsu. Like, yeah, but I want to do jiu-jitsu, and I do jiu-jitsu drills at home, but I'm not going to a gym or anything like that. I wish I was going to a gym. That'd be nice, but
that's what I mean. Like, I've been getting more into yoga lately.
Oh yeah, good. I love yoga.
Yeah, I've just been wanting to like stretch and stuff. Everybody's been like, you know, dude, you're picking up like 200, 300 pounds sometimes and just throwing it on your back and walking around the side of the house and then like setting it. Like, you know, are you stretching? And I'm like, no. And they're like, you should probably stretch. So
yeah, you should.
Yeah, so I've just been doing yoga. Like, I'll turn on some music that like works, you know, and just stretch it out, and it feels pretty good. But,
nice.
And then I don't know. I've been wanting to kind of get into some kind of jiu-jitsu training or like I don't know, something like that. Just watch some YouTube videos and do it at my house. I probably wouldn't join a gym. I can't afford that.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who is involved in jiu-jitsu or martial arts will tell you that, including me, that's if you really want to learn it, you need to go to a gym and learn it to like really get, especially because like so much of it is about manipulating another person, and so it's one of those ones that's really hard to train for by yourself, because you need another body that's fighting you to really get it. And so I've done some minimal jiu-jitsu and wrestling when I was doing a little bit of Muay Thai back when I was in Arizona, and you know, learning stuff from my dad, so I know some simple things, but like, you know, definitely not enough to be like, oh yeah, I'm training jiu-jitsu, you know. It's one of those things that's like you have to go and like really work for the belts in order to understand
the physics and all of it.
Exactly. Everything that works through it. You really need to do that. Now, I'm not saying like don't learn, you know, don't like start learning and try, you know, doing it at home. That's for sure a good thing. You know, it's not bad, but
yeah, but don't call yourself a master after you've watched 100 videos.
Yeah, and definitely don't think you can actually roll with a jiu-jitsu guy after watching videos and training in your house. Like those guys will, you know, twist you up like a pretzel and spit you out. So, yeah, like what I focus on when I'm training is mainly like self-defense stuff, with the heavy bag, and then doing some jiu-jitsu drills and stuff like that. I mean, most fights are going to end up on the ground, so jiu-jitsu, at least a simple knowledge of even just the mounts and how to control somebody, is really good. And then another thing I personally train a lot on is called shield knife defense. It's a style of self-defense Krav Maga shit, where rather than having your knife, it's pretty good. A lot of concealed carry guys use it, because it's a way of using the knife on your non-dominant hand, so that when you the idea is that when you pop up into a fighting stance, especially if you've trained to fight at any capacity, which I mean, I do a lot, you're going to lean or lead with one side. And
Right.
so your natural movement in a crisis situation in that immediate moment is going to be to move to that stance. Like popping up. So for me, because I'm right-handed, my dominant side is going to come back, and my jab hand, my less dominant hand, is going to go forward, right? So I keep my knife on my non-dominant side, my left side, the side that's going to go forward, so I can pop it out. And once I do conceal carry, the idea is that you pop as quick as you can, stab while you reach with your dominant hand for your concealed carry. Right.
Okay.
And so, and then the idea is to, once you get that weapon drawn, drop the knife and, get sights on them. That's the idea. The other idea is, that even if you don't have a concealed carry, the shield method of doing this is a good idea if you're going to get into a knife fight, or even if someone tries to throw hands. That's a real quick way to stop a fist fight. Pull a knife out.
It's so funny, dude. I was like, just going back in my head, and I think probably 80% of the fist fights that I've been in were with you.
Oh yeah. We used to get in a lot of those. Oh, man. Good times.
Always good times.
Oh, yeah. But the idea is that you pull the knife out, and it's in that forward hand, and then you're moving it around constantly so that your opponent can't necessarily judge which way from you're going to defend yourself. And the whole idea is to not attack with the knife, right? You're not trying to get the most, puncture pressure. You're not trying to kill somebody. The whole idea is to defend yourself enough to give you enough time to get the fuck out of there. And so you're moving the knife constantly in front of you. That way, if they do try and move in, they do try and stab or whatever, they have to go through your knife before they get to any part of your body. And so, especially if someone else has a knife, first of all, people, if you're don't take any knife advice from me, look it up. But
yeah, because my knife advice would be, if you got to use a knife, use it to kill.
Yeah, I mean, and so. And
I'm just kidding, but I feel you.
No, yeah. And so, my idea with a gun is, again, I don't own one, but if you're going to pull one, you're going to have to kill, you're going to shoot to kill. You're not going to try and aim for their leg. You're going to you're going center body mass. You're trying to defend yourself, right?
You're saying, if you're in a situation where you're, getting hunted and they're, finding you or something, and you have to, there's 6 of them, and, one of them finds you, and you got to get him real quick.
Or if it's even one dude on the bus with a knife pulls it out on you.
Yeah.
You pull out that knife. Now, you're not thrusting with any attack movements in this idea of knife fighting, okay? Your entire goal is to get the fuck out of there, okay? What that knife is doing is making them second guess themselves and making them have to go through your knife to get to you. So if they stab at you, you now have all the leverage to swipe at that arm, and you have way more distance to do so with your knife. And it's only going to, if you have a sharp knife, what I do, it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots on that arm of that person trying to stab you or trying to run at you or whatever. It's only going to take 1 or 2 shots before that guy can't hold that fucking thing anymore. That guy's arm's incapacitated. Now, let's say worst case scenario, he switches his arms. Now he's got to do it again. Okay. Now, what I was going to say before is that if you get in a knife fight, expect to get cut. You're going to get fucked. It's not pretty. It's not going to be a fun thing to do. You're not getting out unscathed. Don't expect to get out unscathed at all. But what this does is minimize your weapon's distance from them and allow you to try and preserve your vital parts of your body and your other hand as much as possible. And so this knife defense technique is basically like, someone comes in and stabs, you slash and step out of the way. This can allow you to throw a kick. This can allow you to throw a punch right into them and then back off. And the whole thing is like defend, counter, back. Defend, counter, back. Defend, counter, back. Like, get the fuck out. Like, you're not trying to be there forever. And so it is a purely defensive motive. It is not at all.
Isn't a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu defensive?
Yeah, I mean, the guys that are really, really good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are really, really good at defense.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like they do teach offensive moves too, obviously. Like, it wouldn't be fighting without it, but like I just feel like I've heard a lot about the defensive parts of it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of what MMA fighters like. It's one of those things that's just a great grappling sport. So what I've heard most of is you have. So in jiu-jitsu, I feel like they've, at least in recent years, taken some from American wrestling into the sprawl and being able to take someone's back that way. Because a lot of what the top guys that I've watched do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, by the way, I'm not a fucking expert. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. Anyone who does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu listening or watching this. But what it seems like is they're way more comfortable on the ground than they are standing up. So if you take them down, at least in, back in the Hoist Gracie days of early MMA and shit, those guys are down for it. Like, hell yeah, take me down. I'm going to choke the shit out of you once we get down here. I'm going to tweak the fuck out of your arm. Oh, I can be mounted and I will fuck you up. And so that's the good part about it. Now, what I've seen in like modern MMA and modern jiu-jitsu, being a fan of it and watching it, is that these guys have embraced the defense of American wrestling, of the sprawl, and being able to try and stay on your feet so that you can control when the takedown happens. And so you see a lot of the initial takedown defense being wrestling based, and then once you're on the ground, unless they're like a mount you and ground and pound you guy, they're doing jiu-jitsu. Mount and ground and pound is a good wrestling move. You get over the top of them, you get control of them, and then you beat the shit out of them. But those guys that are looking for submissions are all doing jiu-jitsu. And so I think what we've learned from MMA is that although jiu-jitsu is probably the best solo martial art, it's best to train for all of them. I shouldn't say all of them, all the ones that matter. So you like for stand-up game, you definitely want something in kickboxing. For the ground game, you definitely want jiu-jitsu and wrestling. And those three, whatever style of kickboxing it is, those three are going to be the best in the cage. Now, out of the cage, everyone who is serious about martial arts will tell you, if you're just training for self-defense and preservation, then Krav Maga is the shit. Krav Maga is the way to go. Krav Maga is designed for street fighting. Krav Maga is designed for weapons work. Krav Maga is designed to, that's what the SEALs train with. That's what the, American soldiers all around, every major nation uses Krav Maga when you're training close combat. And
Isn't that the Israeli thing?
Yep. The Israelis perfected it. And what they did was they took from, like, they just decided to open the book on every single martial art there is and find out what worked in a street fight. Find out what worked for life preservation and also worked to kill somebody. And so they, there's actually, I think it's called Fight World on Netflix. They have a episode about it. This guy like goes around and like checks out different things, but they have an episode on Krav Maga which explains it really well. There's like two different schools. There's they call it the friendly school and the I forget what they call it. blanking on the name, but the non-friendly. Okay, so the friendly school, an idea of Krav Maga would be the non-lethal. Would be, I'm just trying to incapacitate you and either A, get the fuck out, or if I'm a police officer, then I'm training to, pin you and restrain you, no matter what you have. And for the combat side of it, you're training to, be able to incapacitate someone and blend back into a crowd, or kill someone and get back into a crowd as quick as possible, or, kill someone and be able to be right back up where you need to be. Anyways, the Krav Maga does not work in the ring at all, because most of the moves in Krav Maga are entirely illegal in the sport of fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about breaking fingers. You're talking about, really quick moves to break someone's neck, really quick moves to, crush someone's nuts. Like, those are the moves you're doing in Krav Maga. That's the shit you're doing in Krav Maga. That's the shit that works on the street. And so that's why a lot of what I like try to train for at home. Again, I don't go to a gym, so I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm a student of Krav Maga, but that's what I train for mainly at home when I'm doing work, is Krav Maga stuff, because I'm more interested in actually preserving my life than playing a sport. So
right. Yeah, that's what my dad actually taught me growing up, was that was something he learned in the Marine Corps, was if you're ever in an altercation or in a fight, you end it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So he would always teach me, like, punch him in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he always said that, just punch him in the throat. Like, as long as you can get a good throat punch, the fight's over.
Yeah, that's what Joe says too all the time. I mean, you listen to Joe. He always talking about, just hit the Adam's apple, bro. They're gonna be out. They're gonna be on the floor. You don't have to do shit else. Hit him in the Adam's apple. Get the fuck out of there. Call the cops. And so
you don't have to be the badass. You just got to get one good hit to the throat.
Yeah, and that's what that whole defense shield thing. It's like defend yourself for a second, just so they're incapacitated and get the fuck out. It is not designed to, sacrifice your body in order to, because I feel like a lot of knife defense and instructors and stuff like that will tell you to hold the knife in your dominant hand, which again doesn't work if you're concealed carrying. You'd rather grab your gun with that hand. The knife is just there to give you time to grab that. And on top of that, the like I said, the shield defense thing is not to extend the fight. It's entirely self-preservation. It's entirely to be like, oh, I'm backed in a corner. Let me take out your hand, shove you out of the, make you drop your knife, knee in the nuts, punch you in the throat, do what I need to do then, or even stab you then, just so I can get the fuck out of there. That's the point. Not to, drag you to the ground and, slit your throat, or, if you need to do that, that's what'll happen. But like,
that's not what it's necessarily designed for.
Yeah, exactly. It's designed to get you the fuck out of there as quick as possible and as safe as possible. Now, so one of my friends was talking about like Tai Chi and how that's a fully passive aggressive and non-confrontational, or not passive aggressive, pacifist and non-confrontational martial art. And a lot of people might compare that knife defense style to that, but it's not the same. Because I don't know if y'all don't know, but Tai Chi doesn't work in real life. There's a reason grandmas do it in the park, and you don't see anyone serious doing it. And the people who seriously do it get their asses kicked when they actually fight anyone. Because moving like water doesn't really do shit in a street fight, especially if that dude's got a fucking knife. Or a gun, for that matter. It's not a good martial art to actually practice and actually be working on. I mean, the sad fact that I could probably storm a Tai Chi gym right now and beat the fuck out of all of them in my current state, just because I kind of know some kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and a little bit of Krav Maga shit, it it shows that I would feel completely comfortable doing that. It shows that martial arts is such bullshit. And then you watch videos of them, like Tai Chi masters, dudes who are supposed to be the best of the best at Tai Chi, fight an MMA fighter, and they just get their shit wrecked. Because there's no striking. It's all just trying to throw the punches and move out of the way. It's like, and they get their asses fucking whipped and beat. And that's exactly what'll happen on the street, you guys. Take Tai Chi the same way you do yoga. It's great for, getting in touch with your body and, some stretching and some balance movement and such like that. It's great. It's a great workout. Don't get me wrong. It's a really solid form for bettering your body. It is not a good martial art, though.
You are not a fighter.
Yeah, no, you are not. And so, anyways, I feel like I talked forever. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. I don't know anything about fighting. I just knew that your dad did it, and it was so cool to see like that growing up. And then I knew you got really into it. So
yeah, I want to go to a gym soon. Like I said, I at this point I'd either do jiu-jitsu or Krav Maga. But the problem with Krav Maga is it's kind of like the gyms are kind of like karate gyms, where some of them are really serious and really good, and some of them just aren't. Because it doesn't have a nationally recognized belt system or like regulatory system, the same way some other gyms do. And the fact that you can't really do it on other people makes it really hard to so yeah, you can still roll and stuff like that, but you can't like use the movements to their full effect. So it makes it really hard to find someone who's like, for sure is like really teaching you this shit, not some, dumb fuck that just says he's opening up a Krav Maga gym. Yeah, exactly. And so that makes it hard. Usually just look for the rating, if it's got 5 stars, hundreds of reviews and whatever, and, the guys are ex-military or, ex-Iranian military, you're going to get good shit. It may not be the best in the world, but it'll be good, at least. But don't be going skimpy on that shit. Because it's easier with something like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Maybe not for a beginner, but if you know someone who's already in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and is really good, and you're like, hey, come with me to this gym to check it out, or even just like, hey, I'm going to take video of this gym and like, tell me what you think, or have you heard from it? The guys that are really good at Jiu-Jitsu are going to be able to tell immediately if these guys are good or not. They're going to be able to, you hear about it all the time where, some guy who's like, oh, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu and blah, 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 will roll with a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And the black belt's like, you're not a fucking black belt. You're barely a white belt. Like, I'm wrecking your shit. Who the hell gave you a black belt? The fuck? Like,
right.
So, yeah, there's actually an Instagram everyone should check out, McDojo Life. They're making a documentary about like fake martial arts and people who have faked being masters of different martial arts, mainly focusing on the chi stuff, where like these fat white dudes will convince hundreds of people that they're able to shove them around with their fucking mind and then like knock them out with their superpowers and then wake them up by rubbing their back. Like that's real shit. You guys should go watch the videos. McDojo Life on Instagram.
Wow.
It's insane. And people really fucking believe this. It's like a religion, dude. Like, no offense against religious people, but it's like, dude, what the fuck?
It's like as serious as the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, but even the flying spaghetti monster was started as a joke. And then people started believing it. This is like real shit. Like, this is like, people drinking the Kool-Aid to kill themselves over in Brazil. Serious.
Yeah.
These guys are really, like, legitly, seriously culty. And it's so stupid. is so stupid. And I'm just like, God damn it. I wish one of these guys that actually trained real martial arts would like go in that gym and just be like, pretend to be like fully involved in it. And then like when the instructor goes to, you know, get them up there eventually, you know, after years of training, they just keep walking and beat the fuck out of the instructor. Like, how great would that be? I would watch that video all fucking day. Just some like badass Michael Bisping looking motherfucker goes in there, pretends to drink the Kool-Aid with everyone else for a couple years, and then he finally gets called on to train with the master. And then he just fucking keeps walking past that fake cheese shit, breaks his fucking nose, chokes him out, can't do nothing, be like, do you guys see all this is bullshit? This isn't gonna help you.
That's awesome. Bro, I always said your sense of humor and mine is so similar. We should have written for Seth MacFarlane on Family Guy. Like, I'm telling you, like Brandon and I always said that. Like when we're working together, we just come up with like skits, and we'll just go and go and go.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I could totally just see this was like that one time when fish guy happened. You know.
Totally. I don't know. I wish I was funny. I wish I was funnier. I think I'm.
Dude, you're fucking hilarious.
I am.
Oh, I think you're super funny. Oh. I've laughed my ass off with you so many times.
Thank you.
Oh.
I got my. It's harder that we can't see each other. I wish you had an iPhone.
Dude, I know.
Don't get. I mean, what phone do you have? I'm curious.
I have the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus.
Does that run on Google's platform?
Yeah. Well, it's Android. Yeah, it's Google.
So, I just want to let you and your mind know that Google's watching everything, man.
Oh yeah, I know.
At least, I mean, I know that Apple's expensive. Don't get me wrong, but at least of those two, they're way better about security.
I know.
Don't be looking up any of your crazy anarchist shit on there. I'll be worried about you.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
Good.
I don't do much on my phone. Yeah.
Good. I know you don't have Facebook or nothing.
Yeah, I'm not being loud. I'm just waiting for my time whenever that comes.
For sure. I feel you there. I need to get do you have a VPN on your computer? I need to get one.
I have a VPN through my Fire Stick.
Oh, okay.
So I can turn it on through there, and I think it blocks the whole Wi-Fi router when I do that.
Nice.
So
yeah.
I usually put it to Seattle. I think I have it set to your house. Just kidding.
They just break down my door like, you're looking at all this anarchist shit. What is your problem? And I'll be like, I'm not an anarchist. Look, I have Marxist stuff everywhere. I mean, it's probably right you're knocking on my door anyways, but I'm a communist.
This makes sense. I saw this day coming.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm like not super, super deep in like the crazy shit, but I am on the surface of the crazy shit. You know, I haven't dipped my toe too far, because that's mainly what I'm afraid of, is the government watching me dip my toe a little too far. Oh, and so I like to stay on the outside and like just
kind of watch all of it.
Yeah.
Just like every once in a while you hear something crazy and you're like, oh wow.
You're like, oh, what's that?
Yeah. But not flat Earth.
No, the Earth is round. Chemtrails are not real.
Oh my god, dude.
What else?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, I believe, may have been real in the past and not now. I find that most of my conspiracy theory opinions align a lot with Joe's.
Yeah.
But that might just be because I watch him so much. But
the same. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm always like, every other day I come home from work and I'm like, so I was listening to Joe today and he said this and like, it was so funny. Ben was so sick of it. Like,
oh, I'm sure Hannah's sick of me talking about Joe Rogan too.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, but he's so intellectual and like he thinks a lot like I do, and I not like I'm smart, but like
Yeah.
he just seems like one of those guys where his brain's always running,
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, we have our first. Sorry, I just want to comment that we have our first YouTube watcher that commented. Hi, team DD2 Deets to Teets Dead Teets. I don't know. Wherever you are, hello back. You're tuning in a little late. It's almost at the end of the pod. Team D. X. Oh, it's the face. The big happy face with the X eyes, like all squinty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who this is, but what's up? Oh wait, I think I might know who this is. Who is this? Can I click on your profile and see who you are?
It's the government, man.
It's the government. Government's Team D, bro. Now I'm trying to look at the profile art. Oh, it's someone, I don't know who this is. It says Team D. I'm just gonna call you Team D because I can't say whatever that last name thing is. I'm from Brazil, bro. Coronavirus.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a real deal. How's it? I'm curious now. How's it going in Brazil?
Dude, it's actually really cool to be able to hear from somebody. Like, do you guys in Brazil think that we are blowing this all out of proportion? Because I'm really, really curious.
Yeah, Team D. What do you say? I if your English is bad, I'm really sorry. I don't speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
I can read Spanish pretty well, if you know that.
Yeah, I can too. I can sort of translate. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school. 3 of them were with Caleb, I think.
Yeah, well, 2 of them. I took 2 years of Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Portuguese is life. It's a beautiful language. I'm sure this is probably overrated because I'm an American, and I think this is the only Portuguese singer I know. But Rodrigo Adomante is the shit. Team D, I hope you know who that is. You should look him up. He sings in Spanish, Portuguese, and English. Does everything from like pop to folk to like Cubano shit. It's all good. It's all really good.
What's his name?
Rodrigo Adomante. He did the theme song for Narcos. That's how I found out about him. Yeah. So he's really good. Anyways, we're gonna end the pod, but shout out to Brazil.
Yeah, dude,
our Brazil brother.
I'm really curious what you guys think.
Yeah. Feel free to comment on. We're gonna end the pod here in just a second, but Team D says, "Bro, I got coronavirus. What do I do?" Well, how old are you? How old are you, Team D? Because that depends. Don't you guys have socialized healthcare there? Go to the fucking doctor, or don't leave your house. Those are the 2 things they're telling you. No speak. Okay. Anyways, last thing I'll say to Team D before we end up here. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe, dudette, whoever you are. And thanks for commenting. Keep commenting. I'll probably hop on here and talk to you in the comments if you want for a second. Because I'll be able to like actually translate some stuff. No speak, understand your language. I don't know if they even understand me, or if they just know that I'm talking about them. Anyways, yeah, we're at an hour 10, Brenton. So,
all right, man.
All right, have a good night, bro.
Love
you too. Good luck with everything, and make sure you get that toilet paper all nice and tight.
Yeah, dude. You too, and be safe.
Only 2 squares at a time, man. Only 2 squares.
I know. I'm gonna be scarce.
All right. Adios.
All right.
Later. All right, everyone. That was Brenton Dwyer, my good friend. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, all this good shit. Make sure you check out anchor.fm/skulls and knives to check out the podcast itself. What else? Oh yeah. The link will be in the description. I don't have WhatsApp, but you should go check out anchor.fm/skulls and knives and give me some money. I need some money for some new microphones. Actually, I ordered some, and then someone else decided to take money out of my bank account that I owed money to. So now the shipping's all screwed up, and I'm just basically waiting to get paid again once this shit's over, and I'll have more microphones. Until then, we are going to only be doing phone interviews, not because I don't want anyone here. I don't give a fuck. But just because the audio quality's been really bad when there's two people on this single microphone. So, yeah, I'm just deciding to scrap in-person interviews and stuff like that. But we have some cool in-person interviews coming up once I get those microphones. Make sure you check out Rogue American Apparel. They are going to be the link for that will be in the bottom description. Yeah, I'm losing my brain. It's been a hard day. Deuces.